Hello again, this is Tyson with Ecola Termite and Pest Control, and I wanted to give you a few tips on preventative pest control techniques. So spring is right around the corner. It's the perfect time to take a walk around your house, and this is a checklist or bullet points of things you might want to look for. We could start off with vent screens. You've got ventilation for your sub area, ventilation for your attic. These are on the outside of the property. You can see them as you walk around the house, and they're gonna have wire mesh screen. Gonna look for any holes in that screen. Anytime there's a pipe or some sort of plumbing or electrical conduit that is entering your house from the outside, you're gonna wanna make sure the gap in the stucco or the screen around that pipe doesn't have any more than a dime for a mouse or a quarter for a rat. So go around the house, check all your screens, make sure there's no holes that are basically bigger than your thumb. If you could do this, you can potentially eliminate the entry points for rodents. At the same time, gonna look for any moisture or leaks, any sort of spickets that are dripping, the termites like that, as well as the rodents, because when rodents are searching around for a new home, they're looking for food, water, and a place to nest or call home. So eliminate those gaps and holes. Check the water, make sure there's no drips or spigots or leakage, standing water. Mosquitos and subterranean termites also like these areas. So if you can identify those areas and eliminate those, that's gonna be the first big step to leading into this season and making sure that these unwanted guests are not invading your home. Another thing you might consider looking for is a mud tube. These are from the subterranean termites. They're generally around some source of moisture, close to a source of wood. So these are subterranean termites. They are trying to get to the home for feeding, but they do like that source of moisture. So these mud tubes basically they're generally vertical. Sometimes they go horizontal, but generally they're a freeway for a subterranean termite going from the soil where the nest is up into the structure where the food is. And it's generally gonna be about the width or size of a pen. They can even be smaller. They can actually find cracks in your foundation and get into the house from a tiny little crack in your foundation about the size of a dime. They're just gonna make their own freeway from the soil up into the house, and they're very hard to locate most of the time. I mean, it's their life. They're trying to hide and not be discovered, just do their own thing and nest and come up and eat without being identified or disturbed. If you do discover anything like this, the mud tube from the subterranean termites, this is where you might want to consider hiring a professional inspector like myself or with Ecola. They're very hard to find. Typically, the earliest stages, you can find them under the house, but we do often find them all the way up into the attic. And if they are into the attic, the subterranean termites, that means the nest is still in the soil, but somehow they have worked their way up through a wall or some way undisturbed or unidentified up into the attic, and they're gonna hide under the insulation. So you do need a professional to know what he's looking for and to take that extra step and actually lift up the insulation and look for those mud tubes. Again, these subterranean termites are very difficult to find, and typically what I've seen is behind baseboards and under carpet. Okay, so at this point, after you've already taken a walk around the outside of your house, you're gonna wanna start inspecting the inside of your house and just do a slow and systematic approach, or a thorough and systematic approach around the house. Start from one side, take a walk around the inside, check around your baseboards. I would check under the corners of carpet, especially the corners of rooms, bedrooms. And then if you have pantries, check the deepest, darkest corners of your pantries and closets. If you have a second or higher level house than just the first story, then you're going to go up the stairs. A lot of the times under the stairs, there's going to be another closet or cubby, storage cubby See if you can check under those corners as well, because most of the time with the storage of people today, that storage does not get moved or checked behind most of the time. Same thing goes for attics. People store a lot of equipment or stuff they don't use very often in the attic, and now's the perfect time to move that stuff aside a little bit so you can get a good view, good inspection of pretty much all corners of your home. Then when you get to your bathrooms or kitchens, any room, laundry rooms also, anything that has a source of moisture, sinks, the washing machines, anything else, plumbing, toilets, this is where you're gonna find the leaks most of the time. When you're checking out your toilets, definitely check your supply lines. Make sure there's no drips coming from the supply lines. You might have a bad gasket or a bad valve in that plumbing. When you check your toilets, actually look inside the toilet and make sure there's not a constant drip. When there's a constant drip, that also means the water is flowing through the exit line, and it's going to cause a constant source of moisture, which the subterranean termites love as well. When you get to your sinks, check the faucets, make sure those aren't dripping. Check under the sinks for the cabinets. Make sure you don't have the drain pipe where the little neck is. Check under that. Look for drips coming from that pipe, and also check the shelf. Make sure that's not dry rotted from previous leaks. You might want to replace that. One final thing to check is the weather strips. These are going to be on the bottom portion of doors, only doors that are on the perimeter walls of the house, the external walls. The weather strip is designed to keep rain, little bugs, dirt and debris out. And sometimes you might come across a little chewed mark, and that might be your entry point for a rodent or mouse or anything small. There's also a weather strip on the bottom of your garage door. If you have a raise and lower garage door, there's another weather strip on the bottom of that, and that is another entry point if that's chewed up for rodents. So those are more things to check. So this was a checklist of things to look for inside and outside your house to make sure you're not receiving any unwanted guests this spring. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Again, I'm Tyson, and I'll see you next time.